Hey, you found it! The high ceilings, the perfect light, and that Mediterranean charm. You're already imagining your life there, but this is exactly when the dangers start. In Spain, a fully renovated flat can be a cosmetic trap, and a great deal can turn into a legal nightmare before you even get the keys. Hi, I'm Linda, founder of MySpot Barcelona. I've seen buyers ended up with an apartment that has more hidden surprises than a piñata, from illegal extensions to structural time bombs that cost thousands in repairs. Today, I'm sharing with you the 10 property red flags that I would never let my clients buy into. Stay with me till the end, because flag number 10 is the most expensive mistake of all and almost everyone overlooks it. If you want to buy in Spain with total confidence, subscribe and let's protect your investment. Let's dive in. Number 1, the Renovation Mirage. If it smells like fresh paint, slow down. Spain is full of fully renovated flats that are just cosmetic, like nice tiles, new kitchen front. But then the electricity installation is outdated, the waterproofing is old, and the humidity has simply been painted over. I'm never a fan of an apartment that has been flipped. That means renovated just to be sold without anybody having ever lived there. Sometimes companies or private people that do flipping care about the quality of the materials and the handiwork, but not always pay special attention if you buy a property of the first occupancy or if a company is specialized in flipping. And remember, properties here are sold at cuerpo, cierto. That means you buy what you see. And the defects become your responsibility after signing. The law protects you against hidden defects for 6 months for the second-hand properties and 2 years for newly built properties. But it's a long and a painful process to claim responsibility or to get any money back. So better check before. Go with a specialist, maybe an architect or engineer, and to do a technical report. You should always ask for renovation licenses, professional invoices, and the history of the property. A well-decorated flat is not necessarily a well-renovated flat. Number 2, the Commercial Masquerade. Those stylish lofts or that used to be shops or offices, many still are legally a shop or an office. In Spain, most regions require a habitability or occupancy certificate to recognize the property as a home. And in Catalonia, the cédula de habitabilidad is absolutely mandatory. If a property doesn't have it, you're legally looking at a commercial or non-residential space, not a dwelling. And what does that mean exactly? A, your mortgage will be difficult to get and a maximum to 50%. B, you cannot get registered with this address. So you cannot go to the city hall and have your living quarter registered there. D, C, you cannot rent it out. Or at least not as an apartment where you can live in, but you can just rent it out as a studio where you can work. So that means it implies to have to rent it out to someone autonomo or somebody that actually works in that apartment. D, difficulty in getting utilities or insurances in your name. In fact, insurances might cover a living space, a flat, but not a studio or commercial space. So you will have limitations there. Last but not least, the change of uses and the converting it into a livable space depends entirely on the urban planning rules. And in many areas, it is simply not possible because the rules are very strict to convert a commercial area into a living area. Also be careful, because the listing should be as studio or commercial space, not as flat. It should be clearly stated in the text of the listing that it has no occupancy certificate. And the price should also reflect that. Studios normally go for around 30 to 40% below the price of living areas due to that limitation. Take it as a rule of thumb. If it's not legally a home, don't buy it as one. Number 3, the bargain illusion. Agents often tell you if you don't take it now, today it will be gone. Or they say, we have another buyer who is about to make an offer. Or something like, we have very high demand for that flat. Well, that's not really market insight, that's pressure. And a great price can mean several things. For example, a low demand street, a noise, smell or other obstacles, hidden repairs that are not talked about, missing documentation, pending community debts, a building that has not passed the technical inspection, or the buyer will need to bear the upcoming costs, or the surrounding buildings that affect the value. Spain is a collection of micro markets. 2 streets apart and you can have a completely different prices. Demand, sunlight or building quality. A true bargain is something you prove with data. not with emotions. At MySpot we check Cadastre, Registry, the real square meters, Nota Simple, Urban Planning Department, Orientation, and with that how much light you have during the day. We do a market comparison. We talk to the buildings administrators, the neighbors, the building president. We give renovation estimates, rental projections, and the prediction of value development in the area. Because buying well is a strategy, not speed. Number 4, the puzzle layout. Bad distribution punishes you every day. Spain loves long corridors, interior bedrooms, windowless kitchens, quirky layouts from the past reforms. It's often not clear, and even less so without visiting what you're really buying. How many square meters is it? Did they include balconies and terraces or even community spaces into the listing? Did they actually measure or just take the highest available info from one of the plenty documents? Square meters really anyway don't match between the documentation, and then agencies take great creativity in their listings. Also, you should check during the visit which ones are the carrying walls, the ones that carry the weight and cannot be taken out, or it will be expensive to reinforce them to open them up, and which ones are removable, like tabique, which means room dividers. And remember, listings often show metros construidos, but what you're actually living in are metros útiles, which is usually 15 to 20% less. A well-designed 70 square meter flat feels sometimes bigger than a badly planned 90 square meter one. If you need to mentally redesign the entire floor and walk through a room to get to the kitchen or sit on the toilet to have a shower, I think that flat is not for you. Number 5, the noise trap, the Spanish edition. Check if there are many benches outside of the property, because it could be the botellón place of the youth of the barrio, or where people hanging out. Check where kids' playgrounds are, and be careful on lower stories and train stops. The noise level will shape your entire life at home. Number 6. An extra bedroom on the terrace, or closed balcony, or a bonus attic room, or a little flat on the roof of a building that wasn't there before. If it's not in the Cadastre or the land registry, legally it doesn't exist. That creates exactly 3 problems. 1. The bank won't value those square meters and your mortgage will be lower. The city's government can force you to remove them. Future buyers will see it as a liability and not an extra. For example, many buildings got an apartment of the portero on the roof that is often not registered as a flat, maybe badly isolated, cold in the winter and hot in the summer, and although it has a really nice view and a terrace, it's not the same quality of the structure as the building itself. It's also very common to have a nice winter garden or living room extension on the terraces or big balconies. Most of them are not legal and have not been licensed. And as the surfaces of balconies and terraces and rooftops is community space, the community can also ask you to remove them. The correct way would be to get the project license and ask the community for permission, but that's very seldom done. So always compare what you see, what the plan shows, and what the deed says. If they don't match, then there's homework to do. Number 7, legal handcuffs. Some homes look completely normal, but legally they're not. Let me give you 3 most common cases in Spain. First, VPO, the Vivienda de Protección Oficial. It sounds great because the price is lower, but then these homes come with strict rules. Number 1, you must use it as your main residence. Number 2, there is a maximum sales price for a long period of time, and the same for rental prices. You cannot sell or rent it at the price you want. Number 3, when you want to sell it, the administration can jump in and buy it before anybody else. So yes, they might be cheaper up front, but very limited later. Second, homes that are registered only as residencia habitual, the usual residence. That means you must live in it. If one day you want to rent it out, you might not be allowed. So it's not flexible. And number 3, tourist rental restrictions, a very hot and very up-to-date topic. Cities like Barcelona have the PEUAT, Plan Especial Urbanístico de Alojamiento Turísticos, which is a special urban planning regulation created by the City Hall of Barcelona to control tourist accommodation in Barcelona, such as tourist apartments, hotels, hostels, and similar short-term rental businesses. The PEUAT determines what tourist accommodations is allowed, restricted, or prohibited in the city. And why does it exist? Well, Barcelona has experienced a strong increase in tourist apartments, especially in the central areas. And the city introduced PAT to protect the residential housing for locals, to limit over-tourism in saturated neighborhoods and to control the growth of tourist accommodation. Okay, let's do this. The current licenses run out, and in many zones new tourist licenses simply aren't being granted. By 2028, Barcelona wants to be tourist rental free. I'm sure that hotels will be happy about this, but for you as a buyer, that means I'll be Airbnb later. It's not anymore legally possible. Anything that limits how you can use the property or how you can resell it limits its real value. Number 8, the do-it-yourself disaster. I renovated everything by myself. Well, isn't that lovely? Until you want to buy it. My cousin knows about reforms and we did it all together. If I hear that, I run. Owner-made reforms often include electrical work without bulletin, cheap plumbing, badly sealed windows, poor insulation and zero ventilation. And here we don't even yet talk about the sometimes particular aesthetical tastes of decoration and furnishings. I'm talking about anything that happens inside those walls. Owners and their familiars often simply lack the technical and professional knowledge and skill set. Things might be rather painted over than actually properly renewed. And it often doesn't comply with updated regulation and security standards. You maybe won't see the flaws on the day one, but they will show up quickly. If there are no invoices from professionals, you will end up paying for everything and every shortcut the seller took. And that's not the only problem. Often those sellers put an upcharge or an emotional price on their work done simply because, well, I put a lot of effort in and personal effort and I put a lot of love in. That should not be. So be very cautious if there is a do-it-yourself house owner. Number 9, the bad energy home. This one is emotional, but it's really real. You know, those houses when you walk in and instantly feel like heavy, dark, low, something is not feeling well. It usually is not magic. It's maybe because there is a north orientation, or the windows are tiny, or there is no patio. Maybe there's a constant shade, or it's a ground floor position, or simply a street that never gets light. Also, sometimes the smells are off, and it's a big part of the experience. Like those lice shafts that often transfer the cooking smells to higher floors, or restaurant could have their smoke outlet close by. Also, bus stops or big crossing lead to noise and smoke pollution. Sometimes homes drain you the moment you enter. They drain your energy, they drain your feeling, they quita la alma. There are good tools like Sunseeker app or the Shade Map that can show you how much natural light your flat will have. Also be sure to check the height of the surrounding buildings, or if there are any buildable plots around that might have a new building soon coming up and blocking your view. But in the end here, if your body says no, then listen to it loudly. You're not buying just walls, you're buying how you will feel every single day when you open that door. Number 10, the structural time bomb. There are cracks, humidity lines, leaning floors. These are not just decorative flaws, they should be warnings. In Spain, building must pass the ITE, the Inspección Técnica del Edificio, which is the technical building inspections, 45 years after the construction. And it should be rechecked every 10 years later on. It's very important to get a technical visit report before you commit to a purchase, which shows all the deficits, and it's ranked from easy to serious. It's a nicely document with photos and specification and possible repair solutions. Once the most severe deficits have been repaired, the building will get the Certificado de Aptitud. It's a certificate of competence, which means it complies with the which means that it complies. What does it mean? Okay, I will use this again. Which is a certificate of compliance that confirms that it's conformed the updated regulations and living standards. And with that, it has passed the ITE. This is a very fundamental and often overlooked document in a process. If the ITE shows deficits that are middle or high severe, community works have to be made, and community has to take care of the repairs. And the facade or roof repairs can cost maybe 10, 20,000 per neighbor. Any costs that have not been approved or paid by the house community on the time of the purchase will be have to carried by the buyer. This is why it's so important to check this document. While little cracks in the walls are normal and can be due to movement of the house, others might be structural or to do with the insecurity of the whole house community. Have an architect inspect it before you commit. The real luxury is buying without the fear of what's behind the walls. Buying property in Spain shouldn't feel like a gamble. It should feel like an informed, confident decision. Hi, I'm Linda from MySpot Barcelona, the boutique and multilingual real estate agency in Barcelona. And my goal is to make buying in Spain clear, safe and transparent. Because finding a home is one thing. Making sure it's the right one for you, it's another thing. And that's why we guide you from the first search to the final signature. So what you own is not just real estate, it's your spot in Spain. Okay, you get this.